Konica Zoom Hexanon AR 70 to 150mm f4.
The zoom lens was manufactured in Japan between 1982 and 1987. Konica introduced it in response to Olympus, which was the first company to offer a zoom of this focal length. Since Konica built it for only 5 years, this is the only version of this lens. The optical design consists of 15 elements in 12 groups. Aperture ranges from f4 to f22 with click stops in between. There are 6 rounded aperture blades. The zoom comes with a built-in metal lens hood. It accepts filters with 55mm diameter. It weighs 505 grams. On the back, this lens has Konica AR mount. I use a cheap AR to NEX adapter for my Sony camera. Zooming between 70 and 150mm does not change the overall length of the lens. Minimum focusing distance is 80 cm throughout the entire zoom range. I randomly received a copy of this lens when I purchased the Konica 40mm f1.8. The person who sold it to me didn't think the zoom had any value, and he sent it to me for free. Like most people who enjoy using vintage glass, I love getting prime lenses from the olden days, and I never gave much consideration to zooms, but this lens changed that. The zoom is lightweight, compact, and has a very short minimum focusing distance, which for someone like me who loves to photograph bugs and plants comes in very handy. Of course, this is not the most amazing lens I've tried, but it's a very capable one. It performs great as a pseudo-macro lens and also works very well for landscapes when focused to infinity. It is also quite sharp wide open and becomes very sharp when stopped down to f8. But my favorite side of this lens are the colors it produces. They're vivid and extremely pleasant with just the right amount of saturation. The bokeh is also very nice and chromatic aberrations are pretty minimal. Even though this is not a very fast lens with a maximum aperture f4, the aperture stays constant throughout all focal lengths, which is a very nice feature for a zoom. This humble little lens is a joy to use and produces some very fine images. Of course, it's not going to replace your primes, but if you want the convenience of a zoom in this focal range that performs well and costs next to nothing, this is an excellent option. So at the end of the day, I feel very fortunate to have received this lens for free because I would have never tried it otherwise, and it ended up being such a nice surprise. Have you been surprised by a vintage zoom lens, and if so, which one was it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here at Vintage Optics.